Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to customize the box plots that you create in the R programming language. Now, before we jump into today's video, I do want to point out that I do have a previous video that shows you the bare bones basics of a box plot. So if you have never created a box plot before, I would recommend watching that video first because in this video, I'm going to assume that you already have a basic box plot. I'm not going to go over the same stuff. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to jump right in. First thing I'm doing, I'm loading in the tidyverse. I'm setting up my factor variable, and then I am creating the basic box plot. Again, if you have no idea where this is coming from, feel free to go back to a previous video. Okay, so perfect. Now we can actually move into the content of this video. Now, what we're talking about in today's video is customizing the box plot itself. We are not talking about the panel background. We are not talking about labels. We are just going to go over the different options that you can adjust in the box plot itself. So anytime we are adjusting anything to the box plot, we are going to put those inside of the geom_box plot. So if you remember from the previous video, this aesthetics command, this was setting up our canvas. Now we are working inside of the box plot geometry. Now, there's a couple different things that we can change. So let's go ahead, let's back out, let's get rid of this. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to change color. Now, keep in mind that color is going to change your outline, whereas fill is going to change the inside of the box plots, right? So when I run this command, what you'll notice, let's go ahead, and what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to comment out some of this stuff that we're not working with right yet. Okay. All right, perfect. So let's go ahead and run this. And what you'll notice is that it's going to change the outline. That is the color. It's going to make that green, and it's going to make the fill blue, right? So keep the difference straight in your head. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to customize the outliers. So if you notice here, we have two different outliers on this 8-cylinder box plot, right? So we can customize them. Now, there are a lot of different customization options we can use. There is a full list on the official documentation, but a couple ones that I really like. One is simply an open circle. 17 is a solid triangle, and 4 gives you the X shape. So the way that we're going to do that, the way that we're going to customize the outliers is by going to outlier.shape, and then we're going to put in a number value for the specific code that we're looking for. So in this example, I'm going to do 4, and you're going to notice that that gives me little X's. Now, there's a problem here. Those are pretty small. So the way that we make our outliers bigger or smaller is by using the outlier.size command. I'm going to put in 10. 10 is going to be very big, but it makes it easy for us to see. So in addition to that, we can set a different outlier color. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense with this plot scheme because everything we're doing is kind of wonky. So let's go back. Let's just make this more of a traditional black. And let's do this. We'll go with gray. G-R-E-Y. Okay. Let's go ahead and run this. And now what you'll see is that we are coloring the outliers to red, right? This really helps them stand out, especially if we're using more of a traditional color scheme, right? When we're doing the blue and the green and the crazy colors, right? Making a red outlier doesn't do a whole lot, but when we're using a traditional color scheme, adding in that red can really make a lot of a difference. Okay, now on top of that, we can also change the line type of our box plot. So by default, it gives you a solid line. If you want to, you can change it to either dashed or dotted. So let's go ahead and see what that looks like. You can now see that we have those dotted lines. Honestly, I prefer just the solid. So what you'll notice is that if I comment this out, it's just going to give me that standard solid line. And that is an important point to make if we don't change anything. So if we don't specify any additional arguments, it's still going to work. It's just going to give us all the default values. So let's go ahead and let's leave that how it is. Now, alpha is going to be the level of transparency. So 0 is going to be completely transparent and 1 is going to be completely opaque. So let me run that with two different examples. Obviously, this is one, this is full transparency. Now, when we run it with two, what you're going to notice is that it's very transparent, right? And actually, if I change this, because it's a gray background and it's a gray box plot, if I change this to more of a blue, B-L-U-E, you'll be able to see that difference in the transparency just a little bit better. So now you can see it. Outliers now. Generally with box plots, I think that I would want to show my outliers, but there may be instances for whatever reason where you don't want to show your outliers. If that's the case, you just do outliers equal false. It will remove those outliers. Again, I prefer to see them in there. So if you want to see the outliers, you don't have to do anything special. You don't have to put outliers equal true because that is the default. Now, one thing I do want to show you is the legend. So when I go to this legend here, it should, right? You're thinking that it should make a legend, but what you're going to notice is that it doesn't make a legend. Why is that? What's the problem? The reason that it's not making a legend for us is because everything is the same color, right? There's no changes that we're making. So if we want it to create a legend, we need to go back up here and we need to go to color, fill equals CYL. And is it going to make a legend for us now? Well, no, it's not, because the important thing to note is that if we put something in this geom_box plot, it is essentially overruling whatever we put over here in the aesthetics. So if we want to do that, we've got to comment this out. And now what you're going to see is it's going to work. It's going to color code the graphs and it's going to give us that legend. So key point to remember, if you are not seeing a legend, one of the main causes of that could be that you're not changing anything with the colors. Okay, perfect. So we're good there. And then the last thing, I know I covered this in the previous video. If we want these up and down vertical lines, the way that we're going to do that is by using staple width. We're going to set it to 0.5 and now we are going to have those. So another thing that I did show you in a previous video, I'm just going to go over it really quickly right here. We can add labels by using the labs command, passing in the title, the X and the Y. And that is going to be all of the customizations specifically to the box plot. Now, those are the options you can customize with the box plot, but we might also want to customize the labels, right? So let's suppose that I want to add in a label here that denotes what the median is or what the mode is or whatever the number of values is, right? There's a lot of things I might want to include. And I can't see that here. So in the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to create custom labels to go on top of these box plots. So I hope you found the video useful. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.